It's just past dawn in a quiet neighborhood of Willowbrook Estates where Helen Rutledge lives. DeeDee, her caregiver, arrives for the usual morning check-in. But today is different. As she unlocks the door to Helen's house, she's met not by the usual greeting, but by silence. A silence that quickens her pulse and sharpens her senses. Helen! Helen, it's DeeDee. Are you all right? No response. She navigates through the narrow paths flanked by towering stacks of newspapers, boxes, and whatnots that fill the home like cavern walls. The air is stale, heavy with a weight of undisturbed years. In the living room, DeeDee finds Helen on the floor, conscious, but clearly in distress. Without hesitation, DeeDee grabs the phone and dials 911, her voice steady despite the panic clawing at her insides. 911, what's your emergency? Hello, my name is DeeDee. I need an ambulance sent to 145 Cedar Lane in Willowbrook Estates. It's urgent. My client has fallen, and she might be having a stroke or something more serious. She's conscious but very weak. Okay, DeeDee, I'm sending paramedics to 145 Cedar Lane. Can you tell me more about her condition? How old is she and the symptoms she is showing? She's 82. Her name is Helen Rutledge. She's very pale, sweating, and her speech is a bit slurred. She was on the floor when I found her. I've got her sitting up now, but she's not well. Okay, you're doing great, DeeDee. Is she breathing normally? Yes, she's breathing, but it looks labored. I'm really worried. Please hurry. They're on their way. Now, is there anything blocking the entrance to the house or any hazards that the responders need to be aware of? Yeah, it's important. Her house has a lot of clutter. I mean, it's really packed. The paramedics will need to navigate through some narrow paths. It might be hard to get a stretcher in quickly without moving some of the things around. Understood. I'm noting that down for the paramedics. It's crucial that they know what to expect. DeeDee, can you stay on the line with me and keep checking her symptoms? Let me know if there's any changes to her condition. Oh, yeah, of course. I'll stay with her and keep you updated. Please tell them to hurry. They're on their way, as fast as they can. You're doing everything right. Just keep her comfortable and try not to move her too much. We'll stay on the line until help arrives. Thank you so much. I can hear sirens now. They're getting close. Good. They should be there any moment. I want you to go ahead and open the door for them. Make sure there's a clear path to Helen, if you can manage that quickly. Okay, I'm heading to the door now. The path is narrow, but I've cleared it a bit while we're talking. Perfect. DeeDee, when they arrive, just lead them straight to Helen and step back and let them work. They might need space to assess her condition and prepare for transport. Understood. I'm opening the door now. The door's open, and I see the ambulance pulling up. They're here. Excellent. I'll stay on the line until they're with you and Helen. Make sure to let them know everything that you told me about her condition and the environment. Will do. Here they come now. She's in here. Please be careful with the clutter. I've done my best to clear the way. Thank you, ma'am. We'll take it from here. DeeDee, it sounds like they've got her now. You did a great job. We'll take it from here. You can hang up the phone and talk directly with the paramedics. Thank you so much for your help. Goodbye. You're welcome. Goodbye, DeeDee. Hi, I'm Jake, and this is my partner, Liz. You called about a fall? Yes, thank you. Thank you for coming so quickly. It's Helen. She's inside. She's conscious, but she's very weak and had a fall. Please watch your step. The house has a lot of stuff in it. The paramedics step into Helen's home, their eyes quickly scanning the environment. The narrow path caved through the stacks of newspapers, books, and various collected items present an immediate challenge. The air is stale, thick with dust and undisturbed piles that loom like silent sentinels. We'll clear a path to bring the stretcher in. Can you help guide us to her? Of course, follow me. It's this way. Jake and Liz follow DeeDee. Each step is measured, their eyes constantly assessing the stability of the piles around them. The clutter is not just a physical barrier. It's a maze that speaks volumes about Helen's long, complicated journey with hoarding. She's in the living room just here. As they reach Helen, she's sitting in a worn recliner, surrounded by towers of belongings that both isolate and insulate her from the outside world. Her face shows a mix of embarrassment, a relief as she sees the paramedics. I'm sorry for the mess. No worries at all, Helen. We're here to help, not judge. Can you tell me where it hurts? I don't really hurt. I just feel weak, dizzy, like when I try to stand. We're going to take good care of you, Helen. We'll need to get you to the hospital to make sure everything is okay. With precision and respect, Jake and Liz work to secure Helen on a portable stretcher. They're gentle but efficient, well-versed in handling complex situations with empathy and expertise. The path back through the house is slow as they carefully navigate Helen out of her sheltered world into a waiting ambulance. As the ambulance doors close behind Helen and the paramedics, the cluttered home remains silent, a stark reminder of the life Helen has lived and the challenges she continues to face. Let's pause and explore the world Helen has constructed within her home, a world defined by hoarding. What drives a person to fill every space, to cling to every object? To understand, we need to delve into the psychology of hoarding, a disorder that complicates many lives far beyond simple clutter. Hoarding disorder is characterized by an individual's persistent difficulty discarding or parting with possessions regardless of their actual value. This behavior can lead to clutter that disrupts their ability to use their living or workspaces. For someone like Helen, every item has a memory, a story, or a potential use that makes it seemingly indispensable. Experts believe that hoarding is often triggered by traumatic events or periods of intense stress. Loss, whether it's a death of a loved one, divorce, or even a transition into retirement, can provoke a hoarding response. Items can become emotional anchors, providing comfort or a sense of control in a world that seems otherwise chaotic. But hoarding is not just about emotional attachment. Anxiety plays a huge role. The thought of throwing something away can cause severe stress. What if it's needed later? This anxiety can be paralyzing, making it impossible to declutter. In Helen's case, her home became a sanctuary and her prison. The items she collected over the years encapsulated her joys, her sorrows, her fears. But the path through her house narrowed, so too did the disconnection with the outside world. What started as a collection transformed into an impenetrable barrier of belongings. The physical risks of hoarding are significant. Fire hazards, health complications from mold and dust, injuries from tripping and falling are just a few of the dangers, but the psychological impact, loneliness, social isolation, and shame can be just as debilitating. Addressing hoarding requires compassion and understanding. It's not a matter of simple cleaning up. It's about addressing the underlying issues, providing support, and often professional mental health care. As we return to Helen and DeeDee en route to the hospital, we carry with us a deeper understanding of the challenges hoarding presents. It's a complex disorder, one that requires patience, empathy, and often a gentle hand to guide those like Helen back to a safer, healthier way of living. Back in the present, in the emergency room, doctors work to stabilize Helen. Meanwhile, DeeDee speaks with social workers about the condition at Helen's home. It's a difficult conversation, one that touches on delicate issues of autonomy, mental health, and safety. Dr. Martinez approaches DeeDee with a clipboard. Are you the one that came in with Helen Rutledge? Yes, I'm DeeDee. I'm her caregiver. How is she doing, doctor? She's stable now. We run some tests, and it looks like she's had a mild stroke. We're keeping her for observation, but thankfully, we've got her here quickly. We're starting her on medication to manage her symptoms and prevent further incidents. So that's a relief to hear. Will there be any long-term effects? It's too early to say for certain. Strokes can vary greatly in their impact. We'll know more once we've had a full neurological evaluation. Given her age and this event, we'll need to discuss her living conditions, specifically the hoarding situation that the paramedics mentioned to me. It's imperative for her safety that her living environment is addressed. I understand. I've been trying to help with that. I'll do whatever I can to assist in her recovery and make her home safer. That's good to hear. We'll have our social work team speak with you about resources and support services available. It's important that she have a safe environment to return to. Thank you, Dr. Martinez. I'll be here to help coordinate everything. DeeDee calls Helen's son, Robert. Hello, Robert. This is DeeDee, your mother's caregiver. Hi, DeeDee. I heard from the hospital. How's Mom doing now? She's stable now, thankfully. It was a mild stroke, but she's receiving excellent care. The doctors are optimistic about her treatment plan. Whew, that's a relief. I feel so helpless being so far away. What can I do to prevent this from happening again? The doctors mentioned that you need to address the hoarding in her home. It's not just a hazard, but could be contributing to her overall stress. I've started clearing a path, but we need a more sustainable solution. Yes, I've been worried about that for years. I'm going to look into professional cleaning services and maybe some ongoing support. Can you coordinate that from your end? Absolutely. I can start researching and get things organized here. We might also need to consider some modifications to her home to make it safer for her when she returns. Thank you, DeeDee. I can't tell you how much I appreciate this. Let's stay in touch. I'll book a flight and come out as soon as I can. Of course, Robert. I'll keep you updated every step of the way. Your mom is in good hands. Talk soon. Talk soon, DeeDee, and thanks again. To understand Robert Rutledge, we must journey back to his formative years in New Jersey, a state he would eventually leave behind for sunnier skies of California. Born the only child of Helen and George Rutledge, Robert's early life was marked by high expectations and a critical eye of his mother, Helen. From a young age, Robert was acutely aware of his mother's expectations. Helen, a woman of strong opinions and even stronger will, often expressed her views on the right way to live. She envisioned a life for Robert close to home, steeped in traditions and community of their New Jersey roots. However, Robert's aspirations lay elsewhere. As a teenager, Robert displayed a keen interest in technology and innovation, fields that were rapidly evolving. His curiosity was often met with skepticism by Helen, who preferred stability over what she considered risky ventures. Despite this, Robert's passion only grew, leading him to pursue a scholarship at a prominent university in California, much to Helen's dismay. College in California was more than an education for Robert. It was liberation. The vibrant tech scene and the progressive culture were in stark contrast to his conservative upbringing. Here, Robert thrived, his ideas and ambitions nurtured by mentors and peers alike. After graduation, the decision to stay in California and start his own tech company was met with cold silence from Helen. She viewed his decision as a personal affront, a rejection of the life she had envisioned for him. Despite the physical and emotional distance, Robert made efforts to bridge the gap, calling Helen regularly, attempting to explain his work and his life. Yet, these conversations often ended in disagreements and misunderstandings, with Helen critiquing his lifestyle choices. From his career to his delay in starting a family, aspects of his life that didn't meet her traditional expectations. The years added layers of disconnect, especially when Robert's father passed away, with each call less frequent than the last. Robert's visits home became yearly obligations rather than joyful reunions, often strained and uncomfortable. The birth of his daughter brought a brief thaw in relations, as Helen adored her granddaughter, but the fundamental differences remained. Now, as Helen faces challenges compounded with her hoarding, Robert finds himself once again trying to bridge the miles and the differences to support his mother, who never quite understood his choices. It's a journey fraught with old wounds and new responsibilities, a path that Robert navigates with the hope that perhaps this time things might be different. Join us next time on Cluttered. As we follow Helen's journey through recovery and renewal, we explore how community learns to address hoarding with compassion and how a caregiver's resilience can change a life. I'm Beverly Nance, reminding you that behind every door, there's a story waiting to be understood, and every step forward is a step toward healing. As we unravel the compelling narratives on Cluttered, we are reminded by the profound emotional demands placed on caregivers. It's essential to remember that taking care of yourself is just as important as taking care of others. That's why we have created the Take Care Time Respite Box. Delivered bi-monthly, each Take Care Time Respite Box is filled with items to nourish your body and soul. Enjoy soothing teas that calm the mind, aromatic candles that set a tranquil atmosphere, luxurious skincare products to pamper yourself, and inspirational books that offer wisdom and comfort. Subscribe today and give yourself the gift of relaxation and rejuvenation, because when you're recharged, you're more effective, more present, and more capable of handling the challenges of caregiving. The Take Care Time Respite Box, because you deserve to take care too. Visit takecaretime.com to order yours today. Please note that this episode features reenactments and dramatized details. While in most cases the exact verbatim dialogue may not be known, all dramatizations are grounded in research. To respect the privacy and confidentiality of individuals involved, names and some identifying details have been changed. Till next week, take care.